Alright, I'm going to start out by just a big picture. It's a holder 20 and each one's rigged a little uniquely, so you got to sort of figure things out. But basically these are the warm-ups to it. The forestay is mounted in the first hole. I rig my head sails to the second hole, and the third hole you can use it for something else, or you can move it back and forth depending on what you want to do. But that's how I have my 3 holders rigged up. From there you can see I've got a bunch of halyards, and if you look at the exits on the mast, there's the lowest one, it's about right there, is for the topping lift for the spinnaker. And then the next exit that's just below the forestay attachment, it's where the green one's coming out. That is the jib or head sail, and then there's one more above it. So it's topping lift, jib, halyard, forestay, and then there's a spinnaker exit, and you can see the spinnaker halyards attached to the ring up there. So those are your exits. As I come aft, you'll see you've got these spread or shrouds, and the top one, the highest shroud, is the one that's in the front, the forward, and the aft one is the one that's midway to the spreader. So that's how it works. The one that goes to the top is the highest one, is forward, and the one that goes about midway where the spreaders are is the aft one. Then as we're here checking things out, you'll see that you've got a vang system, and they set up, they rig here, and then they get attached here, and this one happens to be the kind that cleats right here, but some of them run back to a turning block and come back and mount back here. But essentially this is what you're going to do. You're going to attach your vang. Okay? Then you've got a gooseneck, and the gooseneck on this particular boat, on Hawk, we don't really use these attachments. We use these two soft shackles. So when you're fully hoisted, full hoist, you'll use the gray or white one, and then when you're reefed as an attack reef, you'll use the blue one. And you can see that these use balls, and they just trap the ball in the tack, and that's how it works. Other holder 20s will flip this around and use this attachment to hook the tack to it and other things. Okay? As we keep going aft, you will have a traveler, and this one happens to be a windward sheeting traveler, which means, you have to figure out what that means. But you have a traveler, and you have your lines, and they'll stay on the boat, no big deal. And then you have a main sheet system. This happens to be a 4-to-1. They are 3 or 4-to-1, and it's not a big deal, but you basically attach it, where it makes sense. Okay. And then you get further aft. On my boats, they're rigged. It's called the backstay. The backstays are rigged on both sides of the traveler, so they can be controlled on either side. These lines on this boat go down the middle like that, go to that, and then go up, and there's your 8-to-1 or 12-to-1 backstay. So backstays are pretty important on a holder. They really do depower the boat. Then as we're back at the aft of the boat, you'll see that we have our gudgeons for our rudder. Okay, now the rudder slides in here, and the rudder feels heavy, but when you put it in the water, it floats, or mostly floats. So it wants to come out, like it'll come out of the gudgeons, the pintles will come out. So it has to be kept down. So on this boat, it uses a clip through a hole in the pintle that goes to the gudgeon, and that holds it. On other boats, there's a metal clasp right here that has a slot in the pintle, and when the pintle goes in, it snaps into that clip, and the clip keeps it from coming out. Right, so you just got to have a way of keeping the rudder on the boat and not floating off.